Well, basically, they've got to come up with another way to do this. And so there are questions at 2 with Cleveland, at 3 with the New York Giants, and they're all tied to number 1. Right. We see the Giants make the move for Russell Wilson. The Browns had some interest in making that move. They have Deshaun Watson under contract. They're financially obligated to him. They're obviously trading for Kenny Pickett. They'll still add another veteran, but the question is whether they can get up to number 1. And that's really the whole issue with number 2 and number 3 and number 1. Are the Titans going to stick at number 1 and draft Cam Ward, a quarterback that they're really impressed with? Or is there going to be a team that comes up with an offer that is too good for Tennessee to turn down? That's what this is all about.
Sure.
The next month. Whether the Browns, the Giants, the Saints, some team out there can entice the Titans enough to move off number 1, and there's a way for another team to go get Cam Ward. Right now, Tennessee's planning to stay there and make the pick, but we'll see if there's a team that can offer enough to change the Titans'
As
minds.
Damian Woody joins us now, that's what's fascinating about that conversation. We started at 3 with the Giants with the 3rd pick, 2 the Cleveland Browns, 1 the Tennessee Titans. There could be a lot of movement, 3-2-1, in these quarterback dominoes that seemingly fall every single draft. We've gone through the quarterbacks now. Let's go with the quarterback, and Aaron Rodgers. We still don't know what his decision is going to be. What's the latest with him and the Steelers?
Well, the Pittsburgh Steelers know what it's like to be Aaron Rodgers because they're in the dark right now about what he's going to do. And there are a lot of people around the league who wonder if Aaron Rodgers is even going to play. We have not heard from Aaron Rodgers himself to know one way or another. What we do know is that the Pittsburgh Steelers have been interested in Aaron Rodgers for weeks now, and for weeks they have not gotten any clarity from him. The two sides met on Friday for about 6 hours. He met with their coaches. The two sides talked about what it would be like to work together, but there still is no answer about what Aaron Rodgers wants to do. There are people who believe that he may not play this year. There are people who believe he's waiting to see if something might open down the line in Minnesota with the Vikings, but nobody knows for sure what Aaron Rodgers' game plan is. And for the time being, and I see D. Wood laughing, the Steelers are in the dark. They know what it feels like.
Yeah, Woody, it could be Rodgers or bust for them at this point because everyone else has solidified their quarterback position.
Yeah, isn't it amazing that Aaron Rodgers hold all the cards for the Pittsburgh Steelers? I mean, what a precarious situation to be in if you're the Steelers organization. But, I mean, listen, it really is. Aaron Rodgers is got to be your guy. And I don't know how much longer the Pittsburgh Steelers can have to wait here, but there's not many options left for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Obviously, we know the draft is coming up, and I think, it's almost pretty obvious that the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to have to draft a quarterback. I don't know when, but it's probably going to have to be pretty high. But the fact that you find yourself right now hoping and praying that Aaron Rodgers comes to the Pittsburgh Steelers is an awful situation for the Steelers.
Yeah, especially when they got a roster and they got a DK Metcalf to perhaps make a move this season. Speaking of quarterbacks, we know J.J. McCarthy was a rookie last year. Yesterday, the question was asked to the Vikings GM about J.J. McCarthy and the team's future at the quarterback position. Take a listen.
That's the outcome we want, and that's the outcome we're headed towards. At every checkpoint, whether it been the draft process or practice until the injury, or really the offseason now, he's met the bar. I mean, he's exceeded our expectations at every point. For me to sit here and say that, anything's 100% forever, that's just not the job, right? We're responding to scenarios and different information as it comes. So, obviously things can change, but right now we're really happy with our room, and we're going to look to upgrade it in different ways.
Woody, what's your reaction to that sound?
Never say never. The whole notion earlier reports that, the Minnesota Vikings have moved off of Aaron Rodgers. That is not the case, because I thought that was a word salad by the GM right there. The door is slightly open for Aaron Rodgers to come through and walk in that door and be a Minnesota Viking. And oh, what an image that would be after we saw years ago Brett Favre find his way to the Minnesota Vikings.
Hey, D-Wood, I'm just curious. How do you feel about word salad? Do you like eating word salad or not?
Yeah, I'm not too big on salad, so word salad wouldn't do anything for me.
Even if it's got balsamic vinaigrette, I'm going to word salad. I mean, but did he translate that correctly?
Yeah, I mean, basically, what the Vikings are saying is J.J. McCarthy is our guy.
Yep.
We're moving forward with him. But we also know that Aaron Rodgers is out there, and let's see how the spring unfolds. Let's see how J.J. McCarthy looks. And if Aaron Rodgers is still out there and Aaron Rodgers hasn't signed and we're still interested, well, down the line, we always can revisit it because that is their job, is to upgrade the roster and improve the team however they see fit. They're not thinking like that right now.
Right.
They intend to go with J.J. McCarthy, but they also know that Aaron Rodgers is out there, and Aaron Rodgers knows that he's out there, and until he signs, there's still that idea that somehow, some way, you don't know what's going to happen there.
Which, by the way, their intention was J.J. McCarthy last year, and then he got hurt, and Sam Darnold came up and had a career year, and now he's in Seattle. Damian Woody, though, do not sleep on a wedge salad. Wedge salad, for my money, best in the business.
Wedge salad over word salad anytime.
He knows.
Can I add some bacon to it?
That's the only way to do it. Of course you can. Woody, we'll talk to you guys in a bit. Adam Schefter, great stuff.
Is live this morning. We see Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders both getting taken in the first round. Meanwhile, Jackson Dart slipping to the second round and ranks as the third best QB on Matt Miller's list, with Quinn Ewers and Tyler Shuck rounding out the list at 4 and 5, respectively. There's a quarterback who was drafted many years ago who now has a new team. It's Russell Wilson. And he spoke yesterday on the potential of the Giants drafting another QB.
You know, every NFL team nowadays have 2 to 3 quarterbacks, usually 3 nowadays. And so, obviously, right now we have Tommy DeVito, we have Jameis and myself, and we're just excited to get to work. And so, the great part about professional sports is constant change, there's constant movement and everything else. If we draft a quarterback, we'll make sure that he does everything he can to be ready to go and be prepared with his mentality. But for me, it's about the process of winning. I'm focused on winning.
All right, we're focused on Adam Schefter and Damian Woody, who join us this morning. How about it, Adam? What are you hearing about the Giants' interest in drafting a quarterback with that third pick, even after signing Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston this offseason?
Randy, that won't change their appetite to get a quarterback if the right quarterback is available. I would imagine the Browns and the Giants both will be inquiring to see if they can trade up to the number 1 slot to get a chance to draft Cam Ward if the Titans are willing to move off him, which we haven't seen so far. If the Browns or Giants could do that, I would expect that they would both be highly interested in Cam Ward from Miami. The interesting part will be if the Giants can't get up and they're at number 3, would they feel strongly enough about Shedeur Sanders at number 3 to consider drafting him in that slot? But I don't believe that the addition of Jameis Winston and Russell Wilson would alter their feeling on drafting a quarterback early if it is the right quarterback.
Damian, if you're the Giants, so this is playing would or wouldn't you again, would you or wouldn't you draft Shedeur Sanders at number 3 overall?
Well, I would probably wait. I would probably go with one of the other elite prospects. Remember, owner John Mara, emphasized that they need to win now. They need to win this year. I don't know if Shedeur Sanders would help the Giants win this year and help that current regime right now. So, me personally, I would probably take one of either Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter, whichever one that falls at number 3 with that pick.
Okay, meanwhile, Adam, the Steelers have now seen both Russell Wilson and Justin Fields sign with new teams. We know Aaron Rodgers visited with Pittsburgh on Friday, about 6 hours. What more can you tell us about the Steelers' plan here as they search for a quarterback?
Well, Randy, they know what it's like, what Aaron Rodgers has gone through in the past, because they've been in the dark. They're waiting an answer.